Dreams are sure crazy, aren't they? Well, would you like to know who it was you were marrying?
Oh, a tall, handsome Hugh Bangy, I suppose.
No, not that bad. It was that fellow that sends you flowers every day. What's his name? Mr. Norton's nephew?
Ed Sheldon.
Yeah, that's the one. But here's the funniest part of it all. I was the fella up there doing the marrying, you know, the justice of peace or something.
You were? I thought you were chasing me.
Well, yes, I was, but I was your father then, you see. But the real me, John Doe, or that is, Long John Willoughby, I was the fella up there with the book. You know what I mean?
I guess so. Then what happened?
Well, I took you across my knee and I started spanking you. That is, I didn't do it. I mean, I did do it, but it wasn't me, you see. I was your father then. Well, I held you across my knee and I said, Annie, I won't allow you to marry a man that's just rich or that has his secretary send you flowers. The man you marry has got to swim rivers for you. He's got to climb high mountains for you. He's got to slay dragons for you. He's got to perform wonderful deeds for you. Yes, sir. And all the time, the guy up there, you know, with the book, me, just stood there nodding his head. And he said, go to it, Pop. Whack her one from me, because that's just the way I feel about it, too.
Hey there, movie buffs and curious minds. Welcome to Lights, Camera, Classics. I'm your host, Movie Man Gary. Ever heard of the saying, they don't make them like they used to? Of course you have. Well, today we're diving into a classic Hollywood pairing that proves that 100% true. We're talking about two legends, Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck, who had this electric on-screen chemistry that still holds up decades later. Stick around because we're going to break down their connection, their iconic movies together, and what made them such a dynamic duo on screen. It's vintage magic with a modern twist. So let's roll. Okay, so first up we have Gary Cooper. If you've never heard of him, let me give you a quick rundown. Picture a tall, laid-back, old-school, dare I say, Chad. Cooper was the leading man in the 1930s and 40s, kind of like a mix between Ryan Gosling's charm and Chris Hemsworth's effortless cool. Then we got Barbara Stanwyck. She was this total powerhouse actress, smart, sassy, and could switch between drama and comedy like nobody's business. Think of her as a blend of Zendaya's versatility and Margot Robbie's screen presence. Yeah, she was that good.
Who is it?
I'd like to speak to Miss O'Shea regarding an investigation I'm conducting.
Okay, we'll take care of it.
Just a minute.
How do you do, Miss O'Shea?
Hello.
I hate to intrude like this, but
At
mine
the
is a
corners.
very...
What is it?
Well, this inquiry is one of considerable importance.
Stop beating up with the gums.
What was that?
Get this. I don't know from nothing.
Oh, but you do. Every word you say proves as much. Where's that paper?
Sapini, suppose you tell a DA to take a nice running jump for himself.
Bewildering. And you want to tell me you're not the person I'm looking for?
Hey, how many of you are on this job?
The entire project, 8.
Oh, the other 7 waiting outside?
Oh, no, they're at home sound asleep, I imagine.
Asleep?
Yes, they go to bed at 9 every night.
You mean to tell me with crime what it is in you? Say, are you a bull or aren't you?
Well, if bull is the slang word for professor, then I'm a bull.
A professor?
Of English.
Oh,
Oh, I thought there was some misunderstanding.
there sure was.
You see, I'm conducting an investigation on current slang. Would you object if I used you for observation and study?
Yeah, I would.
Well, if I could have your assistance for just a few days, it would be...
Out, Professor.
Then you won't help me?
No, out. Shove in your clutch.
Shove in your clutch. Exactly the kind of thing I want.
Here's a fun fact. Before I got into old movies, I had no idea she played Victoria Barkley on The Big Valley, a 60s Western TV series. That's the first time I ever saw her as a kid, and she looked like a grandma to me. Now, Cooper and Stanwyck worked together on 4 movies, and every single one made waves because of how well they clicked on screen. In fact, their chemistry was so natural, people thought they might have been a real-life couple. Spoiler, they weren't, but the spark, oh my, it was real. Their first movie together was this big one, Meet John Doe in 1941, directed by Frank Capra. Yeah, the same Frank Capra that directed It's a Wonderful Life. The plot's all about a regular guy, played by Cooper, who's used by the media as a symbol for the common man. But Stanwyck's character, a journalist, has her own motives. Classic setup, right?
No, come on, asshole. You can have a... Come on, that's right. Do what you can get all the pictures you want.
Thank you very much.
Come on, will you? Yeah, that's right. Come on, Snooks, you better bail out.
Okay, goodbye, Mr. Doe.
Beanie.
All right.
Better get ready. 1 minute to go.
Wow, 1 minute to go and the score is nothing to nothing. Now, please, John, you won't let me down, will you? Will you? Of course you won't. If you'll just think of yourself as the real John Doe. Listen, everything in that speech are things a certain man believed in. He was my father, John. And when he talked, people listened. And they listened to you, too. Funny. You know what my mother said the other night? She said to look into your eyes, that I'd see Father there.
Hey, what do you say?
Okay, we're coming. Come on. Now, listen, John, you're a pitcher. Now get in there and pitch. Good luck.
Well, what makes this movie stand out isn't just the story. It's the dynamic between Cooper and Stanwyck. You know when two characters just get each other and you can feel the energy buzzing? It's that slow burn tension with Stanwyck's quick wit playing off Cooper's low-key charisma. They had this unique way of balancing each other out. While Cooper was calm and collected, Stanwyck was sharp and full of fire.
Why do you suppose I came here in the first place?
But to help with the research.
I did not. I came on account of you.
Me?
And not on account of you needed some slang. On account of because I wanted to see you again.
Miss O'Shea, the construction, on account of because outrages every grammatical law.
So what? I came on account of because I couldn't stop thinking about you after you left my dressing room. On account of because I thought you were big and cute and pretty.
Pretty?
Yeah, I mean you. Oh, maybe I'm just crazy, but to me you're a regular yum-yum type.
Yum-yum.
Yeah, don't you know what that means?
No, we never got to that.
Well, we got to it now, and I'm glad it's out. I don't give a hoop whether the others went for me. You're the one I'm wacky about, just plain wacky. Can you understand that?
Please, Miss O'Shea.
Please, nothing. Maybe you can generate or whatever it is for all that suppressed business, but I can't. No, I'm too tall.
What are you doing?
Oh, you'll find that.
Those are Professor Gerkikoff's reference books.
Now,
and
isn't
they're
that
very...
just too bad? Oh, that's perfect.
What are you going to do?
Come here. I'm going to show you what yum-yum is. Here's yum. Here's the other yum. And here's yum-yum.
Excuse me.
Hey, where are you going?
In today's terms, it's like seeing Timothy Chalamet and Florence Pugh trading vibes on screen. That back and forth energy kept you hooked. Just a few months after Meet John Doe, they hit us with Ball of Fire, which is like the ultimate opposite-attract rom-com. Cooper plays this super geeky professor writing a dictionary, a slang dictionary no less. And Stanwyck, she's a nightclub singer, basically a sassy, street-smart rebel. This movie is all about contrast. Cooper's awkward, button-up professor is no match for Stanwyck's wild, fun-loving character. And watching her shake up his world is pure gold. It's like if you took a nerdy, introverted guy from a TikTok study vlog and threw him into the orbit of a chaotic, cool girl. You know how it's gonna be. Cooper's shy vulnerability is the perfect toil for Stanwyck's confident charm. It's playful, it's flirty, and they both shine. And it's one of my personal favorite classic movies of all time, period T. So what was it that made Cooper and Stanwyck so special together? You ever watch an episode of a TV show and just know that the two characters are gonna hook up because of their vibe? That's Cooper and Stanwyck.
Oh, Greek philosophy. I got a set like this with a radio inside.
Are you sure you don't want your coat?
No, I'm fine. Except I've got a run in the stocking. Well, how do we start, Professor? You see, this is the first time anybody moved in on my brain. Have you got some kind of a machine, an X-ray or a vacuum cleaner maybe, that sorts out the words you want? What's your method, Professor?
Well, it's quite simple. If you'll be here tomorrow morning, not later than 9:30.
Tomorrow morning?
Well, yes. I've arranged a round-table discussion with a few people of various backgrounds.
Uh-huh. You don't think we could sort of begin right now?
Well, it's nearly 1 o'clock, Miss
Oh,
O'Shea.
fool, Professor. Let's get ourselves a couple of drinks, light the fire maybe, and you can start working on me right away.
Well, I wouldn't think of imposing upon you at this hour.
Listen, I figured I'm working all night.
Any hasty random discussion would be of no scientific value. You see, I have to have my notes thoroughly prepared for the seminar tomorrow.
Okay, where do I sleep?
Well, I don't know. Where do you live?
Up on Riverside, but I'm going to sleep here.
Here. Oh, you don't understand, Miss O'Shea. We're all bachelors with the exception of Professor Audley, who is a widower. Why, no woman ever... Even Miss Bragg, who takes care of our needs, goes home every night at 7:30.
If you want me tomorrow morning at 9:30...
Oh, I do, Miss O'Shea. But even the most free-thinking people must respect the...
All right, feel that. Go on, feel that foot. Okay, Tootsie Bell, what do you say?
It's cold.
It's cold and it's wet. Now, come here. Come here. Closer. Closer. Oh, come on, give. Hello, kids.
They didn't need a ton of dramatic dialogue to make an impact. It was the way they looked at each other, the pauses between the lines, and the subtle gestures. Cooper, with his understated intensity, always seemed like he was on the verge of saying something deep, but choosing not to, while Stanwyck always pushed just the right buttons to get him out of his shell. It's like that perfect balance of someone quiet meeting someone outgoing, and the chemistry just works. Fast forward to 1953, and we get Blowing Wind. This one's a little darker, with Cooper and Stanwyck playing ex-lovers who find themselves in the middle of an oil drama. I know, sounds intense, right? It was.
Guess that's the way it's gotta be, Marina. Just you and me in the pump, baby. Come here. And I tell you to come here, come here.
What's the matter, Marina?
It's Paco over there. I was watching from the veranda. He drove up and started to shoot at the beam. He stumbled and fell, and before I could do anything, he... Oh, Jeff, I think I'm going to be sick.
By this point, their chemistry had evolved. It wasn't about playful banter anymore. Their connection here was much more raw, more dangerous. The tension was thick. Watching them together felt like walking on a tightrope. One wrong move and everything could come crashing down. It's the kind of tension that has you glued to the screen, like when you see your favorite influencer in a dramatic apology video. Somewhere in between all of this, they also did Flesh and Fantasy, but I won't talk about that one too much. It's a fantasy anthology film where they don't get as much screen time together, but it still adds to their repertoire of on-screen magic. So, why should you millennials and Gen Zers care about these two? Sure, they were stars in a time before cell phones and social media, but their connection is timeless. Watching Cooper and Stanwyck feels like a masterclass in how to do on-screen chemistry right. It's the kind of vibes you see in modern rom-coms, dramas, even TikTok skits. Two people who, when they get together, just click. And even if the movies are old, the spark between them is still relatable today. So, if you're ever in the mood for a classic with a sprinkle of vintage charm and undeniable chemistry, check out one of their films. Trust me, you'll see why their pairing stood the test of time. And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with me and diving into the old school world of Gary Cooper and Barbara Stanwyck. Hit that like, subscribe, or whatever button is floating around here. And I'll catch you next time for more classic Hollywood moments that still matter today. And remember...
Paper? I don't read no papers, and I don't listen to radios either. I know the world's been shaped by a drunken barber, and I don't have to read it.